All right, welcome back to the locker room. I'm your host, Gregory Law, and of course, we got my boy Tyler Croome and Chris here today. How are you guys doing today?
Not too bad, man. I'm ready to get this ball rolling.
Yeah, good today. So
Perfect. Yeah, big dump of snow here in PG, of course, as it was. Now, I gotta go shovel after this. You know how it feels. Get that arm work in for the day.
Tough sledding, baby. Tough sledding.
Well, we got a couple points for you guys here today. We're gonna do a bit of the updates on the COVID stuff and the COVID policies that are happening around in the hockey arenas, of course. We got the Pierre, Luc, and Dubois trade happening for you today. That we're going to talk about that as well. We got an updates on our fantasy draft, and of course, hockey trivia.
Awesome. Can't wait to get into it. All right. So, what do you want to start off with, Greg?
Oh, right at the top of the list, the COVID policies. So,
all right,
a couple new things happening around there, aren't there?
There is.
yeah, no, there's been increasing number of players going on the COVID restricted list in the last few days. Whether it's actually testing positive or whether it's close encounters or close contacts, whatever they want to deem that. I know I'm going a little bit off, but the obviously Super Bowl's coming up, so the Kansas City Chiefs were actually getting haircuts, and their barber tested positive for COVID-19. So only one of the players, he was like mid haircut, and so yeah, they got him out of there. So there's only one guy who was their center, but yeah, he's still gonna be good to go for the game. But that's the kind of things that's been happening. Is just like one guy gets COVID, and then even if these players aren't testing positive, they're still having to go on that risk or that list because of the risk of spreading it if they do have it. So
yeah, totally.
There's been that, and then the NHL came out with a few new policies today. They're getting rid of the glass behind the benches. To limit, I guess, get more airflow going and stuff. I don't really think that's going to make a whole heck of a lot of a difference.
No.
And then just more like just spacing around and like dressing rooms and all that. Also, don't think that's really going to make a difference because you can't eliminate all of it. So,
no.
So yeah, there's that. And another thing I kind of want to point out is it's all the American teams that are getting players on the list. There's New Jersey, who's had a bunch. There's a few other teams. 17.
17 people on the list.
So
7.
Basically their whole team is on the COVID list. So they're out of games for a bit now. There's a couple other teams. There's 3 postponements here. We're February 4th right now. So yeah, 3 games postponed today. But none of the Canadian teams are getting COVID. None of them have had any players besides JT Miller and Jordy Bennett at the start of the year. Ever since that, there's been nothing. So it's something going on down there in the States that needs to get worked around. Obviously, with COVID, we know it's kind of a shit show down there. But
definitely.
But yeah, that's kind of what I've noticed so far with COVID and shit. So it's been a little bit of a mess, but I think the NHL will get through it. All the other leagues have.
Well, yeah, that's just exactly it, right? Like, yeah, there's new obstacles popping up, but at the same time, yeah, like each league's had to do it. They've had to iron out their kinks, and sure enough, every league has been able to finish off their season.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Well, I'm glad that of course, nothing's ever perfect, as we've discussed as in last week, but they're trying at least, right? We still got hockey, and that's the good positive.
That's right.
That's exactly it. You hit it right on the head.
What about the Pierre, Luc, and the Dubois trade? What do you guys think about that?
So the Pierre-Luc Dubois and Patrick Laine trade, that was a pretty big trade because, obviously there's 3 first-round picks, like 3 former first-round picks involved in this deal. Winnipeg shipping over Patrick Laine, 2nd overall, drafted right behind Austin Matthews, and then Jack Roslovic, who I believe was a top 20 pick in his draft. Roslovic didn't want to come back, and Patrick Laine, obviously there were some off-ice problems within that locker room that Laine didn't like. And then obviously Pierre-Luc Dubois, again, off-ice problems with him that basically shortened his time in Columbus. So you got 3 players that were not happy where they were, and they all got moved. Sometimes it's just personalities don't mix, but I'm gonna let Chris touch on that a little bit. I think it's a fascinating trade that, like, for for all the trades that we've really seen work out, I think this is one of the only deals where all three players were extremely dissatisfied with their previous organizations.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Normally there's like that one guy, like he doesn't want to be there, so we're going to trade him for some other guy who maybe still wants to be on the team, but hey, we got to kind of do it. We can replace you, so to speak. We had all three of these guys wanted out. I think a lot of people forget that Jack Roslovic was, kind of a top pick. I know, Tyler, we discussed beforehand, but we think Jack Roslovic could fit the same role that Pierre-Luc Dubois did in Columbus. Maybe not to the extent of how good Pierre-Luc is, but he can definitely still fill that role very well. He has a goal tonight already. So yeah, he's going to fill a big role in Columbus, and he's going to get a lot of playing time too. So I like that fit for Roslovic. We'll see how Laine does. I think give him a couple more games, and he'll be firing the puck in the net. For Pierre-Luc Dubois, I think that just gives the Jets a lot more center depth throughout their lineup. I really like the fit there. We haven't seen him play yet so far, just because of the Canadian restrictions on COVID and stuff, how more strict they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like the deal for both sides. It's interesting when you get two players drafted 2-3, then traded. What was it? 3-4 years now. So yeah, no, it's crazy.
Well, and it's funny too, because you're right, they were in the same draft, because it went Matthews, Laine, Pierre-Luc Dubois, and everyone thought Puljujärvi was going to go at 3, because Columbus's general manager's from Finland. Well, now he's got to finish forward from that draft. So it all worked out in the end for him. But I think it's really good for the Jets here, because Pierre-Luc Dubois, he plays a very similar style to guys like Adam Lowry, to guys like Blake Wheeler, Kyle Connor. So he's going to complement their system extremely well, assuming he, can fix maybe some of those off ice things that, you don't want to go to it. You don't want to go to that locker room bringing more problems, because if that does happen, then that's not good. Totally that's not good for Winnipeg, right? But I would like to see what can happen there, because they have a lot of center depth, but at the same time, Pierre-Luc Dubois also is extremely comfortable sliding in on that left wing, where there's now a hole because Laine is gone. So we'll see how they decide to shape that up. But I'm excited. I think both teams are going to really enjoy this trade in the end.
Yeah, agreed.
Definitely, for sure. Totally.
Yeah.
Well, with that being concluded, what about the fantasy drafts that are going on right now? Chris, take it away.
Yeah, so I got a couple guys for this week. A lot of them are from the same team, but I'm going with Boston's top line. Okay. They had a really good game last night. They've had a really good couple of games last week. I'm talking about Pastrnak, I'm talking about Bergeron, I'm talking about Marchand. Those guys have been lighting the lamp, as they should have. They came off to a little bit of a slow start. Boston really wasn't scoring too much, but now they've been all over the stat sheet. So that's been a big plus for Boston. Another guy is JVR from Philadelphia.
Oh yeah,
he's been red hot too. $7 million man there in Philly. He's living up to it now, scoring goals and with the Flyers. So that's good to see for Philly. Getting that production of the JVR is huge. And then one more guy is Johnny Gaudreau from Calgary. He's at a point in every single game this season. So he's looking like he's getting back to his form that I think every Calgary fan is used to seeing from Johnny. So he's been really good. I'd expect to see him continue that as the season goes along.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I'm going to bring up a Dallas Stars player here. So
I was going to say Joe Pavelski too.
Shoot me, Joe Pavelski.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys saw my Instagram story, I was like lucky sevens, because he's gotten 7 games, got 7 goals, 7 assists, 14 points. I mean, obviously, I don't think he's going to keep up that pace throughout the full 56, but I mean, you got to think, like, if he's scoring in spurts like that, I mean, he could bring home some hardware this year. So if you're in fantasy right now, I mean, obviously Pavelski's been scooped up, but maybe make a trade for him. I think it'll be worth your while.
Yeah, no, especially he's getting extra ice time too. Obviously, there's no Tyler Seguin either, so he's filling a big role. He's been really good. Same with the two big defensemen in Dallas too. Yeah, Heiskanen and Klingberg putting up a heck of a lot of points. So Dallas is definitely adapting to their injuries and doing very well. So there's been some players that have really lit up the stat sheet for sure.
Klingberg for Norris.
I think Heiskanen was my pick for for my dark horse for the Norris. I think he was one of my 3. So
I mean, Heiskanen could, right? But I think if Klingberg keeps this up, he's over a point per game and he hasn't been a liability. Like, I'm not trying to be too much of a homer, but he has been one of the best defenders so far, in my opinion. So if he keeps it up, he could win the Norris.
True to that. Anything else? Any other topics we should add on to that? Anything else? Any updates?
I guess I got one back related to the Flames. Sam Bennett, healthy scratch for tonight's game against Winnipeg.
Okay.
There was rumors going around that he wanted out of Calgary to get a better, get more ice time and stuff. He's not really getting that in Calgary. There's 2 Sam Bennett's. There's the regular season Bennett. There's the playoff Bennett. Playoff Sam Bennett is one of the best out there. He actually lives up to him getting draft 4th overall in his draft class. But then in the regular season, it turns into
he's a ghost.
He's a ghost. He literally doesn't do anything. So he's a healthy scratch tonight. Obviously, Coach Jeff Ward's like, there's nothing to it. But that's always their cover-up stories. So we'll see if anything gets done. So keep an eye on Sam Bennett in Calgary.
Good to know. Good to know. Well, that being at it all concluded, we have our weekly hockey trivia. Another 10 questions for you guys today. 9 to 10 questions for you guys today. Round 4 between Tyler and Chris here. I think Tyler's had the lead for most of the time. This guy's like a little hockey whiz, though, from what I know.
Sometimes it's just a shot in the dark. I'm going to be completely honest.
It's just a massive guess. He ain't lying. He injects hockey into his veins.
My drug
All
of
right.
choice.
My drug of choice. Okay. All right. Next question we got for you guys is, what famous sports curse supposedly prevented the Chicago Blackhawks from finishing in first place for 40 years? The curse of Muldoon, the curse of O'Leary, the curse of Flanagan, or the curse of McDonald?
Okay, what was the first 2? Sorry, I kind of missed those ones.
No worries. The first 2 were the curse of Muldoon and the curse of O'Leary.
Curse of O'Leary.
That sounds right. Yeah.
You both are incorrect, actually, because it's actually the curse of Muldoon.
Muldoon.
Muldoon, come on. But yes, after the Blackhawks finished the 1926 and 27 season in 3rd place, owner Frederick McLaughlin, who felt they were good enough to finish first, fired the head coach, Pete Muldoon, according to the sports writer Jim Coleman. Muldoon responded by yelling, "Fire me, Major, and you'll never finish first. I'll put a curse on this team that will hoodoo it until the end of time." While the team would go on to win 3 Stanley Cups in its first 39 years of existence, it did so without ever having finished in first place, either in a single or multi-division format. In 1967, the last season of the 6-team NHL, the Hawks finally finished first, breaking the supposed curse of Muldoon 23 years after the death of McLaughlin.
That's so weird.
All right, the next one we got here is, which coach led the Montreal Canadiens to the Stanley Cup championships in each of its first 5 seasons? Scotty Bowman, Cecile Hart, Dick Irvin, or Toe Blake? Dick Irvin?
Yeah.
Dick Irvin? Irvin?
Yeah.
Hey, who was the second one again?
Cecile Hart. Imagine being named Toe.
That'd be so
Yeah,
cool.
let's go to Seal Hart.
The correct action is the Big Toe himself. Toe Blake coached the Canadiens for 13 years, winning 8 Stanley Cups, including 5 consecutive championships in his first 5 seasons.
All right.
The only other coach to achieve a similar feat as a coach or manager of a North American professional sports team is Casey Stengel of the New York Yankees. How tall was the original Stanley Cup? 37 inches, 17 inches, 27 inches, or 7 inches?
7. I'm just kidding. I think it might be 27.
17.
The correct answer actually is 7.
No way.
It was a 7-inch tall. The Stanley Cup is named after the Canadian Governor General Lord Stanley of Preston, who donated the trophy. The original bowl was only 7 inches high and 11 inches wide.
Wow.
Who was the first woman to play in an NHL game? Nura Ratty, Shannon Zabatos, Nicole Hensley, or Manon Hume? Rume. I was close. I was like
Yeah.
Hume.
Manon Rome.
Yeah, that's her.
Tampa Bay Lightning turned heads in 1992 preseason when the Olympic silver medalist Manon Rume became the first woman to play in an NHL game, which also made her the first woman to play in any of the major professional North American sports leagues, actually, to be honest. She played for the Lightning against the St. Louis Blues and stopped 7 of the 9 shots.
Nice.
Yep, good work.
Yeah. Desperately needed a goalie, I guess.
Got to make history,
True. All right. How did the Maple Leafs owner, Harold Ballard, avoid complying with the new league rule that required nameplates on jerseys? 1. He filed for bankruptcy. 2. He told players to wear the wrong jerseys. 3. He made them the same color as the jersey. Or 3. He gave all his players the same name.
Yeah, I want to go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think he made them the same as the jersey.
The
I'm
color.
going with it. Yeah, I'm going with the nameplate one. Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking about that, but I don't want to say he gave them the same name.
The correct answer is the same color color
Okay.
as the jerseys.
Okay.
I thought it would have been really funny if he gave them the same name.
That would have been pretty funny, actually, to be honest. 1977, the NHL began to mandate nameplates on the back of jerseys for the sake of players' recognition to both the fans and the broadcasters. Harold Ballard wasn't a fan of the idea, so he made the letters the same color as the uniform.
Hey, smart.
That's funny.
How to be petty.
Pretty much.
All right. Which Edmonton's Oilers owner traded Wayne Gretzky to the Los Angeles Kings? Daryl Katz, Wild Bill Hunter, Peter Pocklington, or Todd McFarlane?
Oh, man. I can't remember.
I think it's Cants.
Yeah, that sounds right. That does ring a bell. Yeah, I'll go with Cants too.
I might be wrong though.
Locking in Daryl. Incorrect, actually. It was Peter Pocklington. The trade, as it came to be known as, upset the Canadians to the extent that the new Dramatic Party House leader, Nelson Rees, demanded the government block it. And the team owner, Peter Pocklington, was burned in effigy outside Northlands Coliseum.
Frick. They were pissed.
I mean, I would be too if the greatest player of all time was traded from my team and traded to the States of all things.
The good thing to come out of that though was Wayne Gretzky in that trade single-handedly saved the Los Angeles Kings franchise.
Yeah,
because if he didn't go there, they would have been bankrupt. So like that is one good thing, unless you don't like the Kings, and then you hate that. It's this kind. I think it's kind of like the same deal with Paul Kariya with the Ducks. He really brought hockey to life once he got to Anaheim.
Yeah. What was the nickname of the 1970s Philadelphia Flyers? Orange Crush, Dirty Birds, Flying Aces, or the Broad Street Bullies? Broad Street Bullies. I reread that wrong.
No, that's
apparently I'm dyslexic.
No, that's a classic.
Broad Street
Bullies. I haven't read that. I was like, wait, that doesn't sound right. But yes, Broad Street Bullies, nicknamed for their rough play and record-breaking accumulation of penalty minutes.
Ron Hextall.
Ron Hextall. The writer for the Philadelphia Bulletin wrote that the original headline on January 3rd, 1973, after a 3-1 brawling victory over the Atlanta Flames, Broad Street Bullies muscle Atlanta. What color were the Winnipeg Jets fans asked to wear to their home playoff games?
White
out.
The Winnipeg Whiteout is a hockey tradition that dates back to 1987, when the fans of the original Jets franchise were asked to wear white clothing to the home playoff games. It was created as a response to the Sea of Red created by the fans of the Calgary Flames, whom the Jets were facing off the first round of the 1987 Stanley Cup playoffs.
That's actually really cool.
That is really cool, actually. The Jets eliminated the Flames in 6 games, and fans worn white from every home playoff game thereafter.
That's awesome.
That's a cool tradition, yeah. I agree.
Yeah, no, nothing beats, because I've been to a playoff game with the Sea of Red. Nothing beats it, man. So
Oh no, even on TV,
I love it.
Like even watching from TV, it looks so sick.
Yeah, no, love it.
All right, next question we got for you guys is, in which round of the NHL entry draft did Nashville Predators draft goaltender Pekka Rinne?
7th round.
I believe it was the 7th, yeah. I wanted to say 9, but I think it's the 7th.
I think the 9th round wasn't around when he got drafted, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was, but yeah, no, I believe it's 7.
It's the 8th round.
No
according to
way.
their-
No way. Really?
Yeah,
8th
so
round.
Oh, I guess it does make sense because Pekka Rinne he's old. He's like almost 40 years old.
Yeah, he's old us now.
So yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
A 4-time NHL All-Star, Pekka Rinne was a Vezina. I was right the first time. A
You got
Vezina Trophy finalist as the NHL's top regular season goaltender in 2011, 2012, and 2015, before winning the award in 2018. He was drafted by the Predators as a 258th overall in the 8th round of the 2004 entry draft.
You know, it's kind of funny. Like back then, a lot of these European players were like pretty much hidden gems. Like the scouting wasn't as advanced to the point where like you couldn't really like get much of a read on these guys. So that's why you see like the Pavel Datsyuks, the Henrik Zetterbergs, and Pekka Rinne's, all these guys going. Patrick Hornquist, even that's another like 7th round gem that Nashville got. All these guys get drafted late, and then they become cornerstone pieces in the league. It's kind of fascinating.
All right, and last question we got for you guys tonight is, what is Artemi? Sorry, I'm joking on my saliva here. Panarin's nickname. Magic Angel Robot from Winnipeg. Hot Wheels.
No.
Breadman, or Captain Crunch.
Breadman.
It's Breadman, but oh man, would I love it to be Captain Crunch.
Captain
Soup endorsement deals, man. Holy.
Oh boy, you have to eat Captain Crunch for the rest of your life.
That'd be sick.
It's like those Frosted Flakes commercials, where he's doing that celly with the bowl of cereal.
That's the worst commercial I've ever seen. I saw it way too often in the playoffs. I wish it would just go away.
Just go.
It's like, what a silly. It's like, we don't care. I just want to watch the game.
Affectionately nicknamed as the Breadman, a reference to the Panera Bread restaurant chain by his teammates and coaches. He was also called Yeast Mode because he elevates the team like yeast with his outstanding play.
I guess you could say the Rangers are on the rise.
Yeah, good one.
What a dad joke to end off the locker room session for today. Thank you guys so much for coming in today.
All right. Thanks for hosting, Greg.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
I'll see you boys next week.
Yep. Catch you guys next week. Take care.
Yeah. Peace.